Okay, so now you can see we have our crate and our metal reinforcing strips, looking more like plastic right now, are all around the edges, okay, because this is what it's going to look like in the end. And then before we do our rivets, which are fun, we're going to add a little detail to this. Now, what you want to do is realize that, especially with this lid, this would be nailed on, but these slats would have nail holes where they're attached to, more of the crate structure. So nail holes are really easy on terrain. You just take your X-Acto knife and get in there, and you just do a little bit of rotating of the tip of your knife in on the wood. And I'm going to try to zoom in and give you a better look at how that works. So I get in there, and I just, that's okay, that's fine. I get in there and I do a little bit of work as such. So I'm going to put some nail holes in here in between my metal reinforcing plates. Okay, sorry I'm in the way there. Okay, so we do this. There's another one. So we do our nail holes all around the crate like that. We're going to do it all around. We're going to put some on the top. Alright, on the top we're going to do it just on the edges to show that this is kind of where the lid is nailed down here on the edges. So again, just dip the point of your X-Acto knife in the end of the bore of the balsa wood, do a little rotating, and you get a nice little divot that in the end is going to look like a nail hole. So let me finish that up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we've got our nail holes in the top of this, and all around the side of our cube, or our crate. So our nail holes are good to go. They don't show up much now, but when we paint, they sure will. Alright, so you'll see that. So the next step is we need to put some nice rivets on the metal reinforcement plates on this cube. So let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, actually went in the right direction that time. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is show you a little bit about rivets. Now there's a bunch of ways to make rivets. You can punch rivets out of plastic, like that plastic yard sign, using a leather hole punch. You can use little drops of glue, a little finicky, but it works. A great effect I like is to take two-part modeling putty, sometimes called green stuff, and there's gray stuff and different brands. You take a bunch and you knead it together till it gets nice and green or whatever color, and then you roll it, and what you wind up with is like a snake of material like this. Now you want to let this dry overnight so it gets really hard, and then basically what you do once you've got this cylinder or snake is you're going to slice little bits of it off. And what you want to do is get really close to each cut so you get nice thin circles. Alright, so I know my hand's in the way there a little bit. Okay, but basically what you're going to get is these small circles that look like that. Let me zoom in a little bit. Alright, so you're going to get these things here, and they are actually going to become your rivets. Now I have already stockpiled some, and this is always good to do when you make a bunch of these. Just keep a container and keep them handy for when you need them. And I've got them in here ready to go. So what I'm going to do is show you how to apply these rivets to your metal reinforcing plates. Looks like I need a little bit more white glue. You could use super glue for this too, because you're doing the modeling putty onto the plastic. But white glue is going to work fine. This can be a little finicky this stage. But basically, if you stick the tip of your X-Acto knife on one of your putty rivets, it should just kind of naturally stick because of the point of the blade. And then what you should be able to do is to lightly dab it in your glue and to apply it to your crate. And it should stick there. Sometimes it wants to stay on the knife, sometimes it doesn't. You can get in there and use your hands if you need to, but that's basically the idea. Let's see if I can get lucky and do 2 in a row. without having a problem. So on the knife, in the glue, apply it. And you'll see this one didn't want to come off right away, but there we go. Alright, now these are nice oversized rivets. They're a little large for realism, but this is Warmachine, man. Realism's out the window. So I'm going to apply another one. See this one, I stuck on the knife a little bit too hard. Just going to manually fix it up. I'm going to do another one. Well, I think this one's going to work. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to put this one on. There we go. We got one side done. You're going to put one rivet at the end of each metal reinforcing plate all the way around. So that's 16 rivets, 4 on a side, 2 on a plate. And then in the end, you're going to end up with this. So I don't think I'm going to go into the painting of this in great detail, or I'm not going to show it on video. But basically for painting, what I suggest is that you start with a nice light colored brown, not a tan, but a light colored brown, and then you stain it with a wash of brown ink or just some watered down brown craft paint, because to me you never want to use your nice paints on terrain unless you absolutely have to. And then once you've let that ink soak in there, you're going to get a darker wood that looks more like this. Alright, so your metal plates, what you're going to do to dress those up is you're going to, you can start by painting them black, or just go right to your, like a gunmetal gray, and then you can dry brush a silver onto those. It makes the rivets pop when you dry brush the silver. It gives it more of a realistic look. You don't want to just paint a metal color on there and be done with it. Highlight it with a little lighter colored silver. Right, you can do that on the sides. So really painting is that simple. A light brown or leather colored paint with a brown ink wash. Metal plates, start with a black or gunmetal gray base coat and a lighter metal color for a dry brushed highlighting, and you're good to go. The only other thing I did was I stenciled a little, let me zoom in for this, I stenciled a little K-door symbol on the top of this, which was actually very easy to do, but that's kind of an optional thing. You know, you can totally leave that off. Pretty happy with the effect. I'm sure I'll find ways to refine it down the line. Hopefully you find it useful for now, and you know, before you'll know it, we'll start with something like this, right? Metal, it's 3x4, 3x3, 3/4 by 3/4 wooden cube, and before you know it, you're going to be working, and you're going to have yourself a nice Iron Kingdoms crate. So this is Garrison from Iron Kingdoms at War. Excuse the raspy, cold-ridden voice. I'll sound better next time. I hope this helps. I hope you have fun with your train building. Happy wargaming, everybody.